Island Adventure. Brian and Peter were spending their summer holidays with their cousin Sam, who lived near the sea. There are many islands nearby. Let's ask Dad if we can picnic on one of them, said Sam. Sam's father gave them his permission. Early the next morning, the cousins set off on their island adventure. They rowed Sam's boat for about an hour until they neared a small island. They quickly secured the boat and scrambled onto the mossy land. Let's eat first, then we can explore the island, said Sam. Suddenly, Brian cried out in alarm. The island was shaking. Could it be an earthquake? What's happening, Sam? Shouted Peter in fright. The cousins quickly jumped into the boat and started rowing back. Imagine their shock when they looked back and saw their island heave up and then dive into the water. It was not an island but a monster whale. Storm in the night. Alan and his friend Max decided to go camping in a nearby forest. After trekking the whole day, they reached a clearing. This looks like a good place to camp, said Max. The boys pitched their tent and started a small campfire. Soon after, they ate and fell asleep. A few hours later, they were woken up by a horrible howling sound. What is that? Could it be a wild animal? Alan asked Max in panic. Cautiously, the boys unzipped the tent and peeped outside. The sky was dark with storm clouds, and strong winds was whipping up dust and leaves into terrifying spirals. Luckily, the boys' tent was sheltered and did not get blown away. The storm continued all night long, and the boys did not sleep a wink. But the next morning was bright and clear. There was no sign that such a violent storm had passed through the night. Left all alone. Once a sailor named Tom and his merchant friends boarded a ship. The ship went from island to island, making good bargains and sales. One day it landed on a strange land, which was covered with fruit trees and freshwater springs. While his companions gathered fruits, Tom lay down under a shady tree and fell asleep. When he woke up, he was shocked to see that he was alone. The ship had left without him. He wondered how to escape from this island. He climbed up a tall tree and looked anxiously around for his ship. Fortunately, he could still see it in the distance. It has not gone too far yet, thought Tom. I will wave my colorful scarf from the top of the tree. Maybe they will see it. Luckily for Tom, his friends saw the scarf. They came back and rescued Tom. Swiss Adventure. Alison and Gemma had been chosen to represent their school at a conference in Switzerland. They had a wonderful time there and met students from many different countries. On their last day in Switzerland, they were all taken sightseeing. The students particularly enjoyed the view from the Jungfrau mountain. They were all given refreshments at a pretty little tea house near the mountain peak. But Gemma could hardly eat a thing. Look there, she whispered. I think I have seen that man somewhere before. Could he be a criminal? The girls shivered in fear and decided to call the police. But as they tiptoed towards the phone booth outside the tea house, Alison slipped. As she hung onto the guardrail, the same man rushed out and saved her life. The two girls thanked him over and over again. They felt a little foolish for their suspicion, but had a good laugh about it later. The Spanish Galleon. Millie and her family were spending the summer holidays on the island of Majorca. One day, there was a great storm. The next morning, Millie woke very early and saw that the storm had died down. She decided to take a walk. Millie saw a strange, dark shape on the beach. At first, she thought it might be a sea lion or whale. But when she came closer, she was surprised. It looked like the wreck of a huge ship. She immediately ran home and woke her father, who was an archaeologist. He was very excited and told Millie, "This is no ordinary ship, my dear. It is a Spanish galleon. It must be at least 500 years old. Last night's storm probably brought it up from the seabed." Sure enough, it was a great discovery, and Millie became well known as the girl who found the Spanish Galleon.
Thanks for watching. Do like, share, subscribe to Sahil Book House.